Good morning. It's the 29th of December and it's early in the morning and I'm heading out. Every year, almost every year, I participate in the Audubon Christmas bird count. The purpose of that is to count the native birds that are still around in the middle of winter. That's why they call it the Christmas bird count, because they always do it around the end of December. And anyways, I got into birding or bird watching a few years ago, and that led to bird photography and wildlife photography. And the actual bird count for this area is going to be tomorrow, but we've had a lot of snow and a lot of wind. And so I told the lady in charge, one of my former co-workers, that since I didn't have to work today, I would go out with her and help her check roads, since I won't actually be able to participate tomorrow. But she wanted to go out and make sure the roads were safe. There's a lot of older people that bird watch, and so for them to be traveling out on these roads, but there is some young guys too. There's a couple guys that I go out with sometimes, and around here anyways, and then in the bigger cities there's all types of people that do it. But at first it seemed like an old person hobby, but it's actually been a lot of fun. I had no idea that there was over 400 species of birds in Idaho, counting the ones that migrate through. And usually on the Christmas bird count we'll see 50 plus species, which isn't bad for a winter day up in the snowy mountains. You wouldn't expect that many birds, and we always see some cool things. One year I saw a golden eagle trapping a rabbit and carrying it. One year there was a deer caught in a fence and we helped free it. And so there's always interesting things, and we see some cool birds. That follows a couple streams and then goes up past a reservoir. There's a couple different routes that people are assigned, and we each drive our route and see what we can find. And lots of hawks and eagles, and sometimes some owls. The weather's been kind of mild this year until this last week, and when you have mild weather, sometimes you'll see some other birds hanging around still, especially if there's open water around the reservoir. But anyways, we'll go out, we'll check the roads today. Maybe I'll post some pictures of what I see. I've got my trusty binoculars with me. They're Nikon. Nikon, I don't even know what they are, Pro Staff. But they're just a 10 by 42 binocular. I think they're normally about 120, 130 bucks. But that's all you need for bird watching, really. I've got, as we've gotten more into photography, I've gotten a better camera. This is actually my wife's camera. It's a Canon EOS T7 with Tamron 400 zoom lens. You want about a 400 if you're going to be taking photographs of birds, because you've got to zoom in. And I found it to be quite the challenge because they're so flighty. I mean, they light on a branch and then they're only there for a few seconds and then they take off, so you got to be quick. And so for me it's a bit of a challenge. Plus I like being able to identify the birds. I like being in the outdoors, and when I hear a bird sound or when I see a bird, I can identify what that wildlife is. But there's a lot of other wildlife up in the hills too. I mean, we usually see deer, there's elk, there's turkeys up here. So who knows what we'll find today. But anyways, should be a nice cold freezing day. The wind's blowing, and it's supposed to be a chance of more snow, so we'll see. Hopefully we don't get stuck. Well, I just got back from out driving in the Forest Service ground trying to look for birds, and we had a good time. Wind was blowing, it was even snowing a bit, and there wasn't too many birds to see. I think we saw about 25 species, but they were mostly common ones, horned larks, and we saw some mountain chickadees and some bush tits, and I saw some gray partridge. I did see some prairie falcons and some hawks, some ferruginous hawks and things, but mostly just common birds, like I said. But it was still a good time, and we had to go out and make sure the roads were safe before the thing tomorrow. And I realized I didn't really do any EDC product reviews. I kind of showed you my binos and my camera earlier, but I did have this case that my binoculars were in. It was this Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation case that I got at Sportsman's for I think it was around $45, maybe $50. I really like this case. It's got a pouch. You can fit your binoculars in it. It's got another pouch on the side here, which will probably work great for putting a call in. Right now I've got a lens cleaner in there. It's got a pocket on the other side, which I've just got a, pear frame, Gerber spare knife, backup knife there. And then it's got a pocket on the front where it's got an attached lens cloth in there for cleaning. It's comfortable, it's light, it's not as big and puffy as some of the ones I saw, which are probably designed to keep your binoculars safe, but I didn't want something too big. It's kind of dual purpose. I use it when I'm birding or when I'm out deer hunting, and so I really like that. I'm one of those weirdos, I have birding friends who do bird watching, and then I have hunting friends who do hunting, and the two groups kind of don't mix. I'm a floater. I float between, and for me, I kind of view myself more in the vein, I guess, of Teddy Roosevelt, who was also an ardent conservationist, wanted to protect our national parks, our wildlife for future generations, and I feel the same way. That's I'm all about protecting the wildlife and protecting natural environments. But I'm also a sportsman. I have guns. I like shooting guns. I like hunting. And to me, it's just as fun shooting them with a camera as it is with a gun and harvesting the meat. So I can live in both worlds. Kind of similar how the Native Americans, really respected nature, respected wildlife, considered it sacred, but they also, survived off of it. They lived off the land. They lived off of what they could hunt, what they could fish and harvest. And I'm the same way. I think there's a place for that in our modern society. You don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to be, strictly conservationist at the expense of hunters. You don't have to be, just a hunter at the expense of the environmentalists. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can't go back and forth, but I'm one of those. And that's just my philosophy and how I view myself. But I think that just to finish out this video, I'll probably just upload some of the photos I took this last year and just finished it out that way. And maybe close with a joke at the end. I'll do the joke now. So there was this burglar broke into a house at night, and he was loading up his bag, DVD players, TVs, silverware, jewelry, and he hears this voice, "Jesus is watching you." And he shines his flashlight all around. He can't see anything. And he hears the voice again. He goes back to work and grabs some more stuff, valuables, electronics. And then he hears the voice again, "Jesus is watching you." He's like, "What in the world? I must be losing it." Shines his light around, can't see anything. He's like, "Now I'm hearing voices in my head." He's like, "It's just your imagination." He goes back to work, grabs some more stuff, and he hears the voice again, "Jesus is watching you." Shines his light around, and he sees a parrot sitting over in the corner. And he's like, "Oh, it's just a dumb bird talking to me." And he turns around and shines his light, and he sees a big Rottweiler sitting in the corner. And all of a sudden the parrot says, "Sick him, Jesus." And the moral of the story, I guess, is don't rob people, especially people with parrots and Rottweilers. But anyways, enjoy these bird photos, and have a happy new year.